Okay. Howdy, everybody. This is Take.
And I'm Richard. Hi.
We are broadcasting from Okayama, Japan to the world.
And you're watching Take's Bluegrass Hero Interviews.
In this series, we explore the lives and contributions of the remarkable individuals who have shaped bluegrass music and who I consider my heroes.
Our guest today is an outstanding banjo player, Jack Hicks.
Jack was a young bluegrass boy when he became my hero. Jack, we are so happy to have you with us today.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. Nearly 3 years ago, I asked you to participate in a similar interview project of mine, and you responded positively right away. But for personal reasons, I wasn't able to proceed at that time. Now here I am, finally ready to do it. Thank you for waiting so long.
It's no problem.
Okay, we are honored to start our very first Bluegrass Hero interviews with Jack Hicks. So, Jack, let's jump right into it. Okay? Here's
Sounds
my
good.
first question. Your father was a musician and repaired instruments. How did
Yes.
his influence shape your journey into bluegrass?
Well, um, actually, Dad made his first banjo. Will didn't actually make it. He redid a RB 100 Gibson and played it for a while. And I was young and just a kid. And one day I decided to learn to play it. And it we just so he started teaching me, and we it just kept going from there. And then
Mhm.
Dad he was an Earl Scruggs player, and he pushed me down that road.
Ah,
He didn't let me play much anything else, but
okay. What was the
all
first song? What was the first song or tune you remember learning from him?
Cripple Creek.
Oh, Cripple Creek.
Yeah,
Okay. The standard tune for beginners.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That was many moons ago.
Mm. So did your father push you hard when teaching you the banjo?
Very.
Very interesting.
Yeah, he would. He was really hard on me when I was a kid, but I guess it paid off.
Okay. While growing up, I'm sure you listened to a lot of music. Did you have any musicians that you liked besides bluegrass?
Uh, yeah. I always like old country music, too, a lot. And
Mm,
but that,
country music.
yeah, which I wound up doing a lot of that for after a while.
Any particular musicians that you liked?
Um, yeah, I liked John Huey. He was a steel guitar player, and back in the day, I always liked the steel guitar.
Uh-huh.
It was really a neat instrument to me, and it related to a lot to the banjo, to
Hmm.
what I played and stuff, and I wound up being a steel player. Played on the road playing steel
Uh-huh.
for a while.
So you like Western swing then?
Yeah, love
Yeah.
it.
Great.
Yeah,
Something special about that twang of a steel guitar. It just draws you into the music.
yeah, yeah. I still, that's about all I do anymore because people will send me stuff and I'll put my part on and send it back to them. And that's that's about all I do much anymore. Can't hardly my hands won't let me play my banjo. You know, that's so that's about what I do.
Eddie Adcock played
Oh
a
yeah.
major role in your development as a banjo player. What were the most important things you learned from him?
Oh, Eddie, he taught me so much and was so good to me when I was a kid. He would call me, like pretty often, and just ask me how I was doing, what I was doing, and I'd ask him, well, how he did this, how he did that, and he would just, I mean, it was amazing that he would just tell me, and show me. And I went to a lot of shows when he was with the Country Gentlemen, and and he'd let me sit in with him, and I was just a kid, and but he was so good to me, and he taught me so much, about it, just about a banjo, he played different mostly from just about anybody. He had a different style, and I loved it. I really did. And Dad would let me play some of it, But,
That's great. Were you living near Eddie's place back then?
no, he was living in Washington, D.C., and I was
what?
living.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
He was living right. I was living right here in Ashland,
Uh-huh.
out in Ashland, Kentucky.
So he gave you calls.
Oh, he helped. Yeah, so I mean, he just kind of like took me under his wing,
It seems to me that there's a lot of important mentoring going on in bluegrass music from one
Yeah.
generation to the next. Do you think that with Eddie Adcock helped you be more
Yeah.
motivated to becoming a professional musician?
Oh, yes. Yes. He's an amazing guy. I mean, he really is. He was just good to me. I had a lot of people that really helped me a lot, and I'd take a little lick from somebody and learn it and add it to what I was doing, and it just I had a lot of help from a lot of people.
Jack, I understand that Eddie had a huge influence on you. And I also know that Eddie himself was heavily influenced by Don Reno.
Yeah.
I was wondering, did Don Reno have any impact on your playing as well?
Oh, yeah, sure did. One night, I was playing at a square dance, not too awful far from here, and I come home that night, and Don was there at the house with Dad, and it was the first time I ever got to meet him, and I was probably, I don't know, 13, 14 years old, and I'd been working at square dance, and I come home and I got to meet him there. I was just amazed. It was when him and Bill Harrell was there.
Oh, Bill Howe, yeah.
Yeah. Great.
How did you first meet Bill Monroe? And what was it like joining the Bluegrass Boys?
Well, I first met Bill in Bean Blossom, Indiana, at his festival there. I don't know, I was probably 15 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
And he let me get on stage and play a little bit with him, a tune or two.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, you talk about scared. I was a nervous wreck,
Wow.
and I was probably the first year I was with Bill. But
Interesting.
he was really good to me too. I mean, he was like a father or something to me, out on the road and everything, and he'd take care of me, and he would push me to play, out of the box, and so to say, he would push me to play some of that crazy type stuff that I did, and he liked it. So, and it was kind of funny. We were playing in Jackson, Kentucky, and up to then, I had played just played straight Scruggs, didn't play anything that was out of line, and we were playing Walls of Time. I don't know if you've heard the way we did
Walls
that.
of Time, yeah.
And we were on stage, and Bill broke a string when he came up to take a break, and he turned to me and said, "Get up there, boy," and I just, I had worked on that break before, kind of, it was, I had a good idea of what I would do on something like that. And so I played that block break, and it was pretty much like I did on the record. And he had me do it like 3 times in a row, and from then after we got off stage, he said, "I didn't know you could play that kind of stuff." And I said, "Well, I didn't figure you'd want me to." So, and from then on, he encouraged me to play just anything.
How old were you when you first became a member of the band?
Let's see. I think I was 17 or 18.
Oh,
18.
geez.
17, 18.
Yeah. See why I was so nervous.
Going into the deep end early. Yeah.
Yeah. Shoo-wee. And I had worked for Jim and Jesse before Bill, and for a while, and played banjo with them. And I'd worked with a country band called Dale Reeves. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Oh, yeah.
I'd played banjo with him,
So you are 60 years old or something when you joined the Jim and Jesse?
It was right. I was 17.
70.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So young.
I think so.
Jack, Bill Monroe had already told you that you get the banjo spot once Ruel Yablo left,
Yes.
right? Looking back, did you ever find yourself secretly hoping that he'd leave sooner rather than later?
Oh yeah. Oh yes. But I thought a lot of Ruel too. He was a good guy.
Interesting. Now, when Bill Monroe told you to play as you liked, how did that make you feel? Did you feel happy and excited, or did it make you a bit nervous because there are no clear directions?
Well, it made me nervous, but it made me happy too. I knew that I could do whatever and try anyway. I messed up a whole lot, but he still encouraged me to keep right on doing it.
Was he very strict with the players and yourself if you went a little bit differently than planned?
No, not with me. I mean, he had certain ways he wanted people to play, but he let me do about whatever I wanted to do.
That's great.
And Kenny Baker was with us then, and oh man, you talk about a player, that made me nervous too, because he was so great. He'd take his fantastic break, and then I'd have to step up there.
Jack, Bobby Thompson played on Bill Monroe's recording session in January 1971, and you recorded with Bill a year later in January 1972. While there may have been other banjo players in between, do you think Bobby's playing had any influence on your approach to playing with Bill?
Yes.
Yes.
Carl Jackson and I used to sit and work out those licks that Bobby had played.
Oh, interesting.
And Carl and I were friends back when we were young, and still are, I guess. But we'd working those things out, and you know how kids are.
All right. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
Oh, okay.
Your banjo work at the 1973 Bean Blossom Festival is legendary. What do you remember most about that performance?
I was scared again. I'd never recorded live, I'd done a few sessions, but it was in the studio where you could redo it. But that, and I'd done a lot of work before that.
Oh, I see.
But
what was the crowd like that day?
Oh, they were as excited as we were.
I see.
And it went over pretty good. So they enjoyed it, and I probably enjoyed it a whole lot more.
How did Bill Monroe react after your performance? Did he say anything to you?
Yeah, he told me I did good. He really did.
Good.
And talk about meaning something to somebody, you know,
Uh-huh.
that really did.
Right.
He, you know, I played some things kind of off the wall on that album, and he liked it, you know. And Carl come out and played one on that.
Oh yeah, Carl Jackson.
Yeah,
Right.
he's so good.
How did you think about Carl's Orange Blossom Special?
Oh, he did great. I mean,
Uh,
unbelievable. You know, I just, you know, I always did think the world of him.
mm,
And we both worked for Jim and Jesse about the same time, because he would work, you know, some he had vacations and stuff from school, and I had just graduated from school, so we both worked for him at the same time. Basically, you know, we'd work back and forth.
Interesting.
Jack, I'm not as well versed in the history of bluegrass as Take, who's been studying it and playing it for years. So I know you recorded with Bill at the session you're talking about now at the Bean Blossom. Were you
Yes.
also involved in the Bean Blossom banjo contest?
Yeah, I was entered that one time, and I came in second.
Oh,
Butch
great.
Robbins beat me.
Really?
Yeah.
Butch is
so,
going to be our next guest.
Oh, that's great.
so that
He's
must have
yeah,
been what, around 1969 or so?
so something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I stole some licks from him.